everyone. It is so cold today. I am here in the warmest room in the house, and we're going to do some schooling. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start off with July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence. Now, who did we declare independence from? England's king, okay? The King of England. And that was big. We have 13 states. So there were 13 states. And we gained our independence from a King of England. Fantastic, right? Okay, well, let's talk about this. Now, Patriots. What I recommend is you go and look up these words yourself. So, Patriots fought for our country against a king. So, the definition of a patriot, a person who supports their country, a person who vigorously supports their country and is prepared to defend it against enemies and detractors. Okay, so let's write the word detractor down. I am very sorry if you cannot read my writing. I am not very good at this. Okay, I think it's OR. Okay. So you have patriots and you have detractors. My writing is horrible. Okay, so a patriot fought against a king, okay, for our independence. A patriot also will defend the Constitution against detractors. Now let's talk about what detractors are. This is the definition. Someone who diminishes the importance, value, or effectiveness. So, there are people that claim to be patriots who follow Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump now has the immunity of a king, has said that he will dismantle the Constitution to better fit him. Okay? And detractors are the people who claim to be patriots. Do you see the definitions? If you follow Donald Trump and the Trump regime, you are a detractor. You are not a patriot. Okay? People who are patriots do not want to see the Constitution dismantled. They will not bend a knee to a king, and certainly would not want the freedoms of the people to be demolished. Okay? If you claim to be a patriot and you follow Donald Trump, you are actually a detractor. Okay? You are a detractor of our government's Constitution, and that is a fact. Okay? So, we have these words, we have these dates. Let's move forward. I'm just going to use my sleeve because we don't really care about our sleeve. Okay. So, our next thing, okay, I'm going to look at my notes here just because. So, we have the Constitution of the United States of America. So, let's get that wrote down. Let's get our notes right here so we don't lose them, because I am really bad about this. Okay, so the Constitution. Once again, We have the Constitution. Now, this is where you can figure out if you are a patriot or a detractor. Okay? So we have the Constitution. Amendment 1 is freedom of religion, which is the separation of church and state. And we know that state means government, right? Okay. So this is the first one. Our First Amendment, freedom of religion, separation of church and state, and freedom of speech and press. Okay? This is our First Amendment in shorthand. Freedom of religion, separation of church and state, freedom of speech and the press. Amendment number 1. Big time, right? Okay, so if you are a patriot, you will not break the First Amendment's freedom of religion. Okay, so if you are a white Christian nationalist and you think that the Christian values and morals and all of the Christian teachings should be in government, well, you're a distractor, a detractor. You're a detractor because you're not standing up for freedom of speech and religion. You're wanting to initiate one religion in a country of freedom of religion. You want to teach the Bible, a fictional book, as historical in schools. You want to suppress the press and people's freedom of speech. So you are not a patriot if you agree that we need more religion in schools and make this a Christian nation. You're breaking an amendment. So you're not a patriot. You're a distractor. Freedom of speech and press. If you want Donald Trump to arrest people who speak out against him with the truth, that's not a patriotic act. That is following a king who is going to suppress freedom of speech and press. So he himself, the criminal king, is a distractor. He is not a patriot either. Okay? So, Amendment 1, freedom of religion, separation of church and state, and freedom of speech and press. If you follow Donald Trump and you think any of those need to be changed, you are a distractor. You're not a patriot. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh, you guys, it's crazy having to tell people to look up words. Okay, so we know that freedom of religion and freedom of speech and the press is the First Amendment. We know our Second Amendment is about gun ownership, correct? Well, I think there are some things that need to be changed there. And no one wants to address the children being killed in school. They always want to distract from the reality that there can be stuff done other than arming teachers. Annoying. Not only that, but let's talk about schools just a little bit more. Donald Trump stated that children were going to school a boy and coming home a girl. No one is paying for anyone's sex change operations, number one. Number two, that's absolutely insanity to think that. Okay. And if you believe that, not only are you a distractor, but you're delusional. Okay. Delusions from lies cause distracting ability. behavior, whatever. Okay, so now we're going to do this freedom of religion. I don't know if is that right? Boy, that's some really bad writing, isn't it? That's an I in there. So freedom of religion. Do you understand that? The one concept that we're going to annihilate is that this country was founded on Christianity. Not true. That is absolutely untrue. It's untrue. People say, well, then why did the pilgrims come here? Because of religious persecution. Okay. And then they'll say, well, what kind of religion were they? They were Puritans. Yeah, it's a Christian based religion. But then you also had other countries coming over that had different religions. You had the Chinese come over. They worked on the railroad. They certainly are not Christian. I mean, it's crazy. Freedom of religion is what our country is based on. You want Muslim bans. You want things taken away. You want to make it a Christian nation, and it is not based on a Christian nation. But we are going to talk about hypocrisy. I am so sorry that my writing is so bad. Hypocrisy. And we're going to talk about the hypocrisy of the Christian MAGA people. Just saying. The hypocrisy. And I call them unpatriotic Christians. Because the Christians who realize that this is the land of opportunity and freedom of religion would never take that right away from someone else. I hear Christians, MAGA Christians, and I have to keep saying that. I hear MAGA Christians saying, we are oppressed. They're trying to take our beliefs away from. No one is taking anything away from Christians. Just like the white men that say they're oppressed. Y'all just don't get it. You don't get it. Oppression. Oppression is something women, blacks, minorities, marginal, and now our immigrants and migrants, we feel oppression. So the white men, whom I have a lot to talk about because I really do not like how Christians treat, MAGA Christian men want to treat women. I am thoroughly about women's rights, and I'm not going to go there, but it's always on the back of my head when I hear people claim that they're white Christians, or MAGA Christians. I'm like, oh. But anyway, okay. So the hypocrisy of the Christians are they follow the word of God. Now, MAGA Christian churches are also unconstitutionally promoting politics into religions and should have their churches taxed. You have Kenneth Copeland flying around on jets and he's talking to his people to vote for Trump, and that's wrong. That's not supposed to happen. That's why taxes or churches do not get taxed, because they are not to promote any politics, but they have been. So let's go ahead and round up all of these churches that have preached politics to their congregations and tax them. Elon, there's some money for Doge. I'm just saying. Okay, something else that's hypocritical about MAGA Christians is they claim that Jesus is their savior, and Jesus spoke about immigrants. Jesus spoke about the poor, the hungry, and borders. Now, somehow, these MAGA Christians think that Jesus would do a bloody mass deportation ripping children up out of the only country they've known, send them back to countries they have no idea about, put people in concentration camps behind chain link fences, whatever. Jesus would not do that. Jesus would not do that. In my teachings throughout my childhood and into my teens and up until I was about 17, 18 years old, every time I read about Jesus, I never heard of him being a racist, an isolationist, and a hypocrite. And to those who believe that God has chosen Trump, well, let's talk about that a little bit. Okay? God is not going to choose someone who fits the Antichrist in his own book, the Bible. They're not going to He's not going to pick a criminal, a sexual assaulter. He's not going to choose someone that is so vile and disgusting as Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a con man, and he has conned you. And for you to even think that God would choose a man like Trump, you're a hypocrite, because that is not so. Let's talk to non-MAGA Christians. They have their hands up like, what do we do? Well, this is what I'm going to tell you to do. Witness to every other MAGA Christian that you can and let them try to figure out where they're going wrong. Let's have more non-MAGA Christians come out and speak about what they're getting ready to do to our country that is unconstitutional by claiming to be patriots. Now, we've gone through some of these words, and I would definitely be looking them up myself. But here's the other thing. Christians supporting a criminal is just bizarre. MAGA Christians are bizarre. And I'm going to call you every name I can, because your behavior is of hypocrites. It's bizarre. And allowing a deep state government to come in when you have claimed that you're wanting to get rid of a deep state government, which never existed. Well, we need to get rid of the deep state. Well, let me tell you, you've put a deep state in. I hope this has been fun for you. I hope that I made sense. I hope that you look up these words and really understand what you're talking about. Because Bible teachings in school, Bibles in school like Oklahoma, but not teaching critical thinking, not teaching our true history of how slaves were brought here and built our country and what they went through. Well, I'm going to tell you something a little bit how I feel. I will run an underground railroad if need be. I will do those things. I will protect people who are going to be treated horribly, hunted, possibly killed, jailed, beat. And if this agenda goes further, which I'm hoping that Congress and the Senate and all of this really actually don't allow this craziness to come through, I will be there to fight for you. I will be there if you need me. If there is a need in my area for someone to help those that need help, I'm here. That's what I am doing. Just remember, if you are a MAGA Christian, you are a hypocrite, and you are not a patriot. You are a detractor, mentioned in the independence, the Declaration of Independence from the King of England. You'll have a great day, hugs from a distance. I need to get back out there. I might have rambled. I might have went too long. I don't know. Bye, y'all. Now it's time to go get cold again.